We are now officially in session. The Board of Commissioners are in session for Monday, March 18th, 2024. Present, myself and Commissioner Bardsley. Commissioner Steve Wright will not be with us today. His mother-in-law passed away last week, and he is attending to family matters, so we would like to keep him in our thoughts and prayers this morning as well. So if you will join me, Mr. Bardsley is going to lead us in prayer, and then I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Shall we bow in an attitude of prayer? Gracious God, our Heavenly Father, as we come this morning, you tell us in the Word that blessed are those that mourn, for they will be comforted. For those that are mourning this morning and saying goodbye to their loved ones, we ask for your grace and your peace upon them. And we pray today that your Spirit will be with us as well as we do the business of the county. Give us your grace, direction, and wisdom. And for all those that are working on our behalf, public safety, and those that work on the roads and throughout our communities, we pray a great blessing upon us and our people. And we'll thank you in your precious name. Amen.
Amen. Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so before we get started, I want to clean up a couple things with the agenda. Number one, as you can see, we have a lengthy agenda today with several things on here that's going to involve some talking points. Commissioner Bardsley has a hard stop. He has a previous engagement. We have a hard stop at 11:25 today. So if you're on the agenda, I'm not going to ask you to hurry, but we do need to kind of be a little quick because I would like to get through the entire agenda without having to table anything. If we get to 11:25 and there's some things that we have not gotten to yet, they will be tabled until the next meeting. So we are stopping at 11:25, and we will not be having public comment today due to the length of the agenda and the hard stop at 11:25. So that being said, I'm also going to move up because I know she's driven a little ways here. Angie Poole, is Angie with us? Hi, Angie. So I have you eighth on the list, but if you want to go first, just to make sure that we get you in, because I know you did drive a little ways. I would hate to have you drive here and then us not be able to get to the Cardinal Greenway. So if you want to, if you're ready, if you would like to come up and.
Nothing like having to wait around and figure out what to not say, right?
And then I'll get to the.
How is everyone?
Doing good.
Okay. I have handouts for you too, Commissioner Stewart, but I'll leave, and I run enough for Commissioner Wright too. Here, we'll just go ahead and put these here. So with Decorum, our Angie Poole, CEO, Cardinal Greenway, and we are headquartered in Muncie, but I am proud to have Grant County as one of our counties, so that's why I'm so pleased to be with you all today. So our request today is with the monies that have been left behind or still in the pot for the ARPA monies, we have, as you all know, a gap in the Cardinal Greenway Trail System, and we would love to be able to work with the commissioners in the county and the city to begin to close the gap in our trail. If I'd have been here a year ago, I wouldn't have had this flashy little handout that I have, or even a thought of, what we need to do first for closing the gap. But over this last year, we have made a lot of momentum. We've had some progress. We actually are in a strong partnership with Taylor University. And so fingers crossed, everyone, it's looking like we might be able to start closing segment 1 of our gap. So that would be around Taylor's University. And what we are doing is the momentum is so grand in Upland that we're going to shift, instead of following the old rail bed, which is why we have the gap. Long ago, that land was bought before we could buy the rest of the land for the trail. And so, we waited around until, really, we're 30 years old, 31 years old. So we've been at this a bit, but we are going to probably shift up from Gaston to Matthews to Upland and then scoot over to Gas City, Jonesboro. So that's our plan. And like I say, with Taylor's partnership, it's really looking positive that we can start getting some trail on the ground in our gap before, in the foreseeable future. So our next segment that probably makes the most sense would be to get from our Taylor University portion of our trail up to 22 by Marion General Hospital. And so that part would be right around a mile, right around $1 million, because it's about $1 million a mile of paved trail. So, and then we would hope for maybe the 20% match. So trail projects are usually 80-20. So we have that project in mind. Then the next segment would be from on 22 towards Gas City. And then there's one last segment to get us the rest of the way through Gas City to the park where our greenway exists right now in the Gas City Jonesboro Park, or Gas City Park, and then over to Jonesboro. So we're going to end up being, let's see, 4 segments. And then our 5th segment is the Upland to Matthews to Gaston. So we have proposed our project to Ready 2.0. So we are trying to think of every way we can to be able to start closing the gap in the trail. And just a quick little data tid point, we have about 400,000 trail trips each year. So the trail's heavily used. I know we're such a long trail, longest rail trail in the state still so far, but sometimes you may not realize just how busy the trail system is when you're out and you're not really seeing anyone. But, we're a busy trail. We're a Hall of Fame trail. We are award winning. And so we are just so passionate to close our trail and keep those other trail systems that are knocking on our door from being longer than we are. So it's like you guys all have to help us make that happen. So, and then I guess so I told Commissioner Stewart, I was like, I'm so bad on monies. So I have the segments cost per each segment, their grand cost, so we can, figure that out 20%. But, I think it would be really cool if we could get a couple segments going yet this year or into 2025. And then lastly, I still have our existing trail here in Grant County and Marion. So we can't ever forget our old existing trail infrastructure. So, and that is, it's hard when we're such a small nonprofit in the ways of staff, and we own our trail. Our trail's private owned. So, but I still have about 10.5 miles of trail in Grant County that I want to keep here for generations too. So I'm trying to juggle all that. So, any support that we can be shown for the Cardinal Greenway Trail System to continue to be strong in your area and to grow in the area would be much appreciated. So, Commissioner Stewart, did I hit the bulk of what we needed to?
I think you did, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah.
And I have plenty more of these, so, just let me know.
Okay.
So if you need them, and thank you for letting me speak.
You're very welcome. Thanks for coming.
I do have a question. In previous conversations, I want to say that there literally is a trail system that goes from the east it goes west by northwest all the way up quite a few hundred miles. And our gap is the one that's not connecting all that.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. That is the Great American Rail Trail. And it's from Washington, D.C. to Washington State. And our Cardinal Greenway was chosen as a stakeholder trail for that, multi-state trail system. And yes, our gap is the largest in our state for that trail system. So it's another push for us to be able to start connecting that crazy gap that we've had for all these years. So, but great. Because I have that, it's on that handout, but yes, but thank you because people don't realize that our trail is kind of a big deal. So
It really is.
it really is. So, all right, thank you.
I've been a big fan of the Cardinal Greenway for a long time. I do a lot of running and biking, and I use the Greenway, and every time I get to Jonesboro, where it stops at, I'm like, man, wish we could just figure out a
I
way.
know,
So,
right? Well, together maybe we can.
Yeah,
So
so-
that makes my heart happy, though, that you
Yeah.
love our trail.
Ms. Poole, the one thing I would ask is, I didn't see a dollar amount that you've submitted.
and
I know you just kind of left
Yeah,
that open.
I'm not sure.
We would, I would ask that
Okay.
maybe you could submit to us a dollar amount.
Sure can.
I think we've already got you on the wish list, but we don't have a dollar amount.
Okay.
I call it a wish list. I don't know if that's the correct
Right.
terminology for
Right.
it, but if you could get us a dollar amount, we obviously, if you're selected, we obviously can't guarantee what that amount would be.
Okay.
But we would like to have something.
Okay.
We do need a firm number to work
Yes.
with, as all the other projects.
I have so many
So,
options, and I didn't want to sound like hoggish to, so I was so torn on what to put, but I
yeah.
will,
If you could just send us something a number that you're thinking.
Okay.
Like I said, if it's selected, that might not be that number, but I know you'll be grateful for anything.
oh,
that
for
we do,
sure,
so.
for sure. I sure will. I'll send
All right.
that to you.
All right, sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you for coming. All right, I wanted to make sure we got her in since she traveled a little ways. So we are going to move on to approval of claims, minutes, and payroll. First off, need to ratify claims. The pre-approval was given on March 11th, 2024. General, $190,672.21. Other, $89,839.89. Highway was $9,432.97 for a grand total of $289,945.07. Commissioner Bardsley, do you have any questions or concerns, discussion?
No, sir, none of that, and I would move to ratify the pre-approval from the, I believe it's the 11th.
March 11th, 2024, correct. Motion by Mr. Bardsley. I will second the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Next up, we have an approval for general $254,667.73. Other is $153,170.67. Highway is $8,083.82 for a grand total of $415,922.22. Any discussion on that approval?
No, sir. I would move to approve the claims as presented for today's date.
Motion by Mr. Bardsley. I will second that motion. If there's no other discussion or questions, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Next up, we have payroll number 6. Pre-approval was given on March 13th, 2024 for pay dated March 15th, 2024. Gross amount was $653,936.90. We do not discuss payroll, so I will look for a motion.
Move to ratify payroll number 6 as described.
I will second Commissioner Bardsley's motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. We have minutes from January 16th, 2024 to approve. Commissioner Bardsley, have you had a chance to look at the minutes?
I have scanned them. I think that both of you gentlemen went through them as well, so I'm happy to move to approve January 16th as presented.
Motion by Mr. Bardsley to approve January 16th minutes. I will second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We will move on to communications and board updates. Ms. Jarvis, do you have anything for the good of the order?
Two things. I have wanted to note that the 23 annual report has been submitted,
Okay,
and the 24 taxes have been given to the treasurer.
okay,
So
perfect.
they are ready to be billed.
Okay,
State Board of Accounts, will they be here soon?
I have questioned them. They're still working in other units. They have not given me a date yet. As soon as I hear that, I'll let you know.
I find someplace for them.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, ma'am?
No,
Okay.
that's it.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson, I see you back here in the back of the room.
Morning.
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 So I can give you a quick update as to the storms that passed through Thursday. Grant County actually dodged 2 bullets that night. We had a track go north that actually developed into a tornado in Adams County, and then obviously the big track that went south. So we did have reports of hail. We had some trees down across roads. I've not had any reports of property damage as of yet. We're still trying to do some assessments. But for the most part, I think we came out pretty good on that. I know at one point we did have some folks at Master Grant High School shelter for a few minutes. That storm was actually, we had several train spotters out that night, and they were tracking that. Did have rotation in the air, but never did touch down, thankfully. So, and unfortunately, our neighbors to the south and east have had some destruction. So we was in contact with Delaware County EOC that evening, a couple different things, and then there was a request for medics through the District 6 Healthcare Coalition. So Grant County did send, Marion Health sent 1 ALS ambulance, advanced life support, with 2 paramedics, and then Grant County sent 2 BLS trucks with 4 EMTs. So that was the only request we had at this point for any kind of assistance. So I have been trying to reach out to the Randolph County EMA director. I did talk to Red Cross this morning, so they're trying to compile a list of needs yet that they may have. So we may reach out if they give me a list, and more than happy to load up a trailer and go that way if we need to. So,
Excellent. Yeah.
Who's
Good.
that director now?
pardon me,
Who's the director in Randolph County?
Chris Shinniefeld. And then John, I'm going to lose the name now in Delaware County, but yeah, we were in contact Thursday evening with Delaware County and monitored that traffic quite a bit.
Good.
Questions?
No, you answered my question. I was going to ask if we've been contacted to help or if we've reached out, so.
Yeah, we'll stay in contact with them. As we learned last year, the recovery will take months yet. So
Yeah.
The first few days, a lot of people show up. It's the week or two after that. And we'll be there to step in if we need to.
Yeah. I cover, for my 9-to-5 job, I am in Delaware County, so I've heard that they are in need of assistance over there,
Yeah.
so they're probably still trying to get their ducks in a row. But
Right.
yeah.
I heard our sirens. Did all of our sirens work for the county?
So we had just tested them the week before. So there are a few that are not working. We're aware, and we've had some. The town of Swayze did contact me actually just a few days before that. So they are looking for some funding to replace that siren there. I think there was excuse me, a couple here in town that didn't function during the last test too. So that's why we test them every month.
I know that we have some folks that complain because it's sunny on the south side of the county and it's terrible in the north, but the alert system, when one goes off, they all go off. That means pay attention. And
Absolutely.
there's reasons to pay attention.
Yep. Yeah. I was actually home working in the yard, and I'm getting texts from guys on the north end that they're getting hail, 1-inch diameter. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else, sir?
I think that's it
Okay.
for the most part.
We appreciate
All
it.
right, thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else in the room that I missed as far as elected officials or boards? Marcus?
Is he smiling?
He is. Yeah, he's got a huge smile on his face, actually.
No, not quite that much, Kevin. Set me up to fail over here. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, sir.
We got a couple different things here for you. The first one is for social media archiving. We've been having discussions with the sheriff's department and a few of the other offices, and with social media becoming pretty integral to communications and things like that. We were looking at a system where we could monitor all those accounts and be able to archive everything. So that way, in the event if we were ever to get a request, we can, follow through and provide all that. So Civic Plus, they have a platform called Archive Social and Next Request, and it does everything we'll need it to do. And the sheriff's department, they were pretty interested in it as well. So it's an annual payment, and for the first year, it's discounted, and it's $14,885. But after that, it'll go up to $20,000 per year.
Marcus,
So-
I'm sorry, tell
Yeah.
me again what this does.
Yeah,
What-
it
what do
basically,
we pay
it
for?
monitors all of the county social media accounts, and it
Okay.
basically logs everything that takes place on them. Because
Okay.
by law, we have to do that now. Because of a recent bill, I can't remember what the bill was called. But basically, we have to be able to document what takes place on the page and provide, like Facebook posts and things like that.
Okay.
It's required part of FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. It's part of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I always forget it's the Freedom of Information Act.
So I guess I'm trying to extrapolate some here. We would have to be doing this whether the sheriff was interested in it or not.
Correct, yes. Yeah, it's countywide. So, to my knowledge, the Veterans Office, they have a page, Treasurer's Office has a page, Sheriff's Department, they have one, EMS, or EMA, I should say, they have one. So,
So it looks like, correct me if I'm wrong here, walk me through again.
Mhm.
You said the first year it's going to cost,
yeah, the first year, they gave us a discount to get us on, and the first year is $14,885, but then next year, it will go up to its normal price, which is $20,376. And I was just gonna pay it out of my contractual services account, just
Okay.
for simplicity.
and so we have to pay that every year.
Correct, yes, because it's a cloud-hosted program, and they manage all that stuff for us.
$20,000 is for social media stuff is just, I know we live in a different world, but
Well,
it sounds like
again,
a lot to me.
I think the question would be, does this save us money and time, effort, or is this something that we can, with our own server, post this information, hold it ourselves instead of having someone do it on the cloud?
Yeah, I'm not aware of any program that does that, like on an on-prem system, just because with all the social media websites, they're already on the cloud to begin with. And the thing that made this system pique my interest is the next request systems. This basically is like it provides an audit trail for the requests and stuff like that, so that way, if we ever, if there's ever a legal thing or anything like that, we would be able to provide that information to them. And there wouldn't be any questions about it.
So it's reoccurring, but we're not locked into a contract?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So we just basically renew it every year.
Okay. So at some point, if we wanted to shop services, we could do that.
Correct, yes.
And you're building that into your budget for next year?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, because the sheriff's department, they were looking to help me pay for it, but I figured, I mean, the piece that they were wanting was the, I think it was like the 8,000 or 9,000. And I was just like, well, I mean, it's just simpler for me to pay for it out of mine instead of having two departments all do it, so.
I mean, obviously, there's probably some competition out there. Would that be more appropriate for, not to add work to you, Marcus, but come back with another bid or two?
But I don't hate that idea. I mean, it looks like we are getting a pretty good discount for this year. My thought was go with it this year, and then maybe next year, since it is reoccurring, but we're not in a contract, maybe get some bids then. But I don't hate the idea of,
Have we run this agreement by Kyle as well?
This has not been run through Kyle, to my
No,
knowledge.
it has not. So it was, you know, I was just bringing it here for your approval, and then I imagine it would go to Kyle after that.
okay. Marcus, I guess now that I think about it, I guess I would like to see maybe another quote or two.
Sure.
I mean, maybe there's a company out there that'll come in at 10,000. I don't.
No,
I don't
no,
know, but-
no, that's perfectly fine.
And then maybe we can, address it at the April 1st meeting.
Yep, I have no problem with that.
Commissioner Barsley, are you good with that, or?
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty sparse when it comes to the agreement. I know we're buying a service that's out there, but I'd like maybe, it looks like they have a terms and conditions that you can look at online. I wouldn't mind seeing the bulk of it to see really what it's about and what we're agreeing to.
Sure.
Because really, that's what Kyle needs to see before we sign off on it anyway.
Right, okay. Yep, and I can reach out to that gentleman, he can give me that information.
Okay, does that
Yep.
sound fair?
Yep,
Okay.
sounds good to me.
Perfect.
Yep. And the other item I had was, for our email archiving, which, currently we, go through, Microsoft for that. And, you know, just with some of the recent cases we've had, it's, shown its, limitations. So I'd like to, move towards the, ArcTitan. We've worked with the Titan HQ before when we had an on-prem email system. And they, I've had no complaints with them. And they were willing to help us, get set up with, archiving our, Office 365 instance. And it was for 400 users, and that's $13,440. And that would I was planning on taking that out of my contractual services account. So I don't know if you gentlemen have any questions for me, or?
I guess I'm feeling the same way about this as I am.
I want to see a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I'll just be frank, I've never dealt with a company's headquarters that it isn't in the US.
Ireland.
So I'm going
No, I
internationally.
mean, we've done business with them before, though. It's been a couple years since it was when our email system was on-prem.
Yeah, I definitely think we need to do a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm going to ask the same ask that we did for
Okay. Yep.
maybe another quote or two. And then we do need to see some kind of, maybe not contract, but some kind of user agreement. We
Okay.
can get over to Kyle.
Yeah, yep, we can do that.
Maybe a couple quotes, maybe get us a couple other quotes, your recommendation, and then whoever you're recommending,
All right.
some kind of user agreement.
Yeah,
Send
I'll
over
be
to-
sure to include the user agreement stuff since we're,
Okay,
yep, that's not a problem. Then the other one, which I wasn't looking to present, I was just wanting to give it to you, was the pricing for the access control and cameras for the courthouse for the front foyer entrance area. Due to the incident that took place a couple months ago where it was at the end of the day in Soup 2, and a lot of the guards, they left for the day, and then the incident happened, and then they wasn't able to get back in a timely manner. So this was the pricing for that. So I don't know, Justin, if you want to pass that down. So I just wanted to give that to you guys for you to think about it,
okay.
because I wasn't looking for a decision on that one. But
I'm
other
sorry,
than
did
that-
you say you are not looking for a decision right now? This is
No,
just for-
no,
for us to
it was
review?
just one I got like at the end of the day on Friday.
Okay,
So I wasn't expecting it back so quick. So
You're anticipating a couple other quotes?
yeah, that was just the first one I had. So
okay. Yeah, if you could get a couple different quotes, Marcus.
Yeah.
Come back with your recommendation.
Yep.
And then some type of user agreement for whoever you're recommending, that'd be great.
yep, that sounds good.
All
Thanks
right.
again, gentlemen.
Perfect, thank you. Good morning, sir.
Morning. Update you on a few things. I do have the right-of-way for the courthouse we talked about last time. Kyle looked at it. I did talk to the gentleman, the buyer for the property, and I was hoping Mr. Wright would be here. Basically, what they're gonna do is the stoplight on the northeast corner of the square, they're going to remove the portion of the light that holds the stoplights. They're gonna put that on the north side of the street. And then, so only the thing will be on this side would be the pedestrian for the buttons and everything to get across the street. On the northwest end, across from Central Dispatch, they're actually gonna move that pole a little farther south, to, I don't know why, but, so I really think a lot of it, so it won't affect the, ramps for the wheelchair or sidewalk use. But it still will have a pole there holding the lights, et cetera, so.
We've already had them do work on that corner by the Salem building where they breached our,
Yeah, this is on
Area.
the square side.
oh, it's on the square side?
Yeah,
Okay.
not on
That's
that
fine.
side. So,
Okay.
yeah, we don't want to go through that hole again, so.
Right.
Yeah, this is just on the square side. Like I said, they wanted to purchase the right-of-way for $1,100. Kyle said it's pretty much standard, the amount they're taking, so I guess if you guys would like to approve it or whatever you'd like to do. And if you sign it, I'll get the information back to him. I believe he's gonna record it all and all that, so
Okay.
it's up to you, gentlemen.
So you looking for a motion today on that, approval?
It's up to you guys, whatever you'd like to do. Like I said, I just was kind of helping him out because he thought it was something right away with the roads, and it was like, it's not really in the city limits, so. And he's already worked with the city on getting their portion where they're gonna install the new poles, so.
I don't think Steve would, with the information you've given, I don't think he would object. I mean, it's going to be done whether,
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's very familiar with it and supportive.
Chairman entertain a motion.
Yes, sir.
I would move to approve the selling of right-of-way with the $1,100 bid made by the Indiana Department of Transportation as presented.
We have a motion by Commissioner Barnsley. I will second that motion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's approved.
Looks like lots of places to sign.
Yeah. You can get it later or whatever, I don't care.
I'll add it to the stack.
Okay. Next thing I have is a supplement agreement. This is with Bridge 138, which is out on County Road 1100 South between 3 and 400 West. We have this with SJCA Incorporated. This is a consulting firm that's doing the design and right-of-way, et cetera. I guess originally when I had you guys sign the agreement, I thought we were going to build a slab bridge, and they were wanting to build a three-sided box. Well, after talking to a lot of contractors, everybody says that you might save money in the design work, but you're going to spend a lot more money in building it. Because with the three-sided box, it's mainly the work underneath the creek that you got to do. Then they come in and they have to rent special cranes to set these structures, and then you'd be done with it. So I've took it to two different contractors, kind of let them look at what they had designed, and they said you might save a little money now, but you're going to spend a lot when it comes to construction cost. So the supplement agreement to change it to a bridge, I forget, the total originally was $110,245. Now it will change to $170,795. And it's a $60,550 change order, basically.
What bridge did you say that was?
138, and it's on 1100 South between 3 and 400 West, if I remember right.
So it's going to cost us approximately $60,000 more, but the maintenance and care will be less on it than,
Mainly the construction.
Construction.
Yeah, because that's where it's gonna cost a lot of money. So, to get that change it to that. And I kinda looked into, I don't have my notes right here with me right now, but we've already paid like, almost 70,000 of this contract, or I would probably just say, go somewhere else kind of thing, but we've already that far into it, so I figure we might as well just let them finish it. They've been working on the permits and everything else, so. If you'd like to.
Any thoughts, Commissioner?
I would kind of agree with David's assessment that we have gone to a critical point in paying them already, and to back out would cost us that plus the cost of basically starting over. And so I would, at least for motion's sake, make a motion that we accept the amended payment schedule as presented with SJCA Consultants.
We have a motion by Commissioner Bardsley. I will second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is approved. You have Commissioner Bardsley as president on here.
Yeah, I was gonna
Is that
say-
a big deal, or? I
Well, you can just
scratch it out.
Scratch it out. Next thing I was gonna bring up is we currently use Wildman Uniform Company for our uniforms. What they'd like to do is give another extension. This was originally done in 2021. We did a 3-year contract. They would like to extend their prices for another 3 years. At the last time, they were the lowest vendor, and we'd worked with them for quite a few years. So basically, if you approve it, it just needs one signature. I did attach the copy on the back of the original contract, if you'd like to look at it. It's kind of done by the amount of uniforms and everything that are rented out, so.
They're not increasing their prices?
Nope.
They're just extending it?
Yep.
Kind of hard to beat that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's kind of, when they said they'd like to keep it the same prices, I'm like, everything? And they said, yeah, and I said, okay, I imagine we could do that, so.
So do you need a motion for that then?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
make sure you say 3 years or 36 months, please.
Okay.
With smiles on our faces, I would move to approve the Wildman presentation for another 36 months.
I wholeheartedly second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
Update you a few other things. My foreman and I did attend road school last week at Purdue. We was there 3 days and it was really educational, so thanks for letting us go to that. Completed another project last week with the area plan on unsafe structure and got that all cleaned up. We have another 200 ton of salt and sand coming in, or salt coming in today, so we should be completely full on that for this year. Next Wednesday morning, I have a bridge inspection meeting on phase 2 of the bridge inspection, so working with them on United on that. Hope the 1st of April we'll get our results on the community crossing grants, if we received any of that money. So talking at road school, they were thinking maybe the 1st or 2nd week of April they'll announce that. Bridge 16, still working real good on that. Hopefully here, I would say probably the 1st of April, we'll have to wait on the asphalt to open up, and then we'll get that paved and done. Started cleaning the bridges in the county, getting the salt and sand off of them, so that's all I have unless you gentlemen have.
I think you covered everything pretty well, so no questions for me.
Thank you.
Okay.
The, EMS, so we had some flooding out there from the storm. Do you have any expectation as far as the drain?
Like I said before, if you could tell me if you're gonna keep that building, that would make my job a whole lot easier. If you're gonna remove the building, the drain that I put in,
The one
I
that's
don't,
burned.
yeah, I don't have to worry about the water, the sewer lines. If you're gonna keep it, then I have to work around all that stuff, gas line, et cetera. If you're gonna remove that, then I can just go straight across as fast as can be, so.
Okay.
That's where I kinda stand with that. I mean, if you're gonna keep it, that's fine. I just gotta change my direction of which I go, so. So as soon as you let me know on that, we can get it in. We've got the pipe, so.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you. All right, moving on. Under old business, credit card review. Angie Jarvis?
We have, Justin had worked with a few of the departments to get issued new credit cards to close out existing cards and open up a new account. He can explain that.
Basically, this is, these are just the agreements. That's you have the policy in front of you along with the resolution and the agreement for return of the previous credit card.
Okay.
So, these are things just to button up the transition.
And that's just moving from our old credit card provider to what Northwest provided for us.
And I don't know, Angie, if with the policy or the resolution, there was limits in there, capping at what, 3,000?
I believe so. I don't know if the resolution said that.
So we have to make an exception there, but these are kind of all moving targets as far as the credit limit's concerned.
Okay.
We have an overall umbrella amount, and we'll get people onto the new credit card in stages.
Okay.
These accounts and amounts will probably shift.
Okay. For those of you in the audience, we had some issues with our old credit card provider, and the issues being I could never get it to work, so kept getting declined, so we moved on from them, so. All right, anything else on that?
Do we need to take any action today or just
I
note it?
I don't believe so.
I don't
No.
believe so, no, it's just, yeah. I
Just-
don't-
Just present it to you.
Yep.
Essentially.
All right.
Anything else, Ms. Jarvis?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. We will move on to new business. First up is the BOT resolution, the jail project. Mr. Connor Sullivan, are you online with us today, sir?
Mr. President, I am. Can you hear me?
Yep, hear you loud and clear.
Good deal. I apologize. I was not able to get up there today, gentlemen. Justin and I were working on this quite a bit last week, and he informed me of Commissioner Bardsley's hard cutoff, so I figured it'd be all right if I joined virtually today. So I apologize, though.
That's okay, no problem. We're glad to have you. So if you're ready, if you want to just kind of give us an overview of what we're doing here, that'd be great.
Yes, Mr. President. So today, before you is a resolution that will authorize Grant County to use the build, operate, transfer, procurement method for the Grant County Jail project. This is only this starts the process. It authorizes certain individuals being director of administration, your director of administrations, myself, your owner's representative, and President Stewart to start drafting an RFQ. And once that's been drafted, to publish the notice for that. It creates an evaluation review committee, which is President Mr. Stewart, County Council designee Mike Scott, and the Grant County Sheriff Del Garcia as the review committee for their respective bodies. The Director of Administration's owner's technical representative, myself, will advise them through that. But the big thing, the big takeaway from this resolution, Mr. President, is that this just starts the process. It doesn't commit Grant County to seeing this through the finish line. It doesn't commit to any certain location, doesn't commit to whether it's a new jail or reconstruction or just a reconfiguration of an existing facility. All it does is start the procurement process, which is statutorily required. And then once documents are starting to be drafted, those will be discussed with you, Mr. President, and then Mike Scott, and then the sheriff, and you guys can take it back to your respective bodies as this progresses along. That's a high-level overview, Mr. President. Any questions or comments at this point in time, sir?
So just kind of piggybacking off of what you said, this just kind of gets the process started. As we've discussed a few times, our jail is very dilapidated. It's very dated, and we are constantly overcrowded by 70 to 80 inmates. Some other counties have been sued by the ACLU. So correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Sullivan, this kind of protects us and insulates us as long as we can continue to show that we recognize the problem and that we are trying to do something about it. This kind of keeps the heat off of us a little bit, so to speak. But then again, this also doesn't really commit us to anything. We haven't decided that we're going to build a new jail. We don't know if we're going to build a new jail. We don't know if we're going to try to rehabilitate something. This just basically just gets the ball going, correct? Did I sum that up? Okay.
Mr. President, that is a perfect summary. The one caveat we'll provide is obviously you can never protect yourself from 100% liability, but in several cases throughout the Midwest, I would say the steps you are taking today do show the progress required that someone like the ACLU or the Department of Federal Prisons or the DOJ would like to see, to say, hey, Grant County recognizes the problem, acknowledges it, and they are trying to move forward with the solution. This would be you guys have already performed a jail study. That was a good first step too. This is just kind of taking it one step further. And the more progress you can make, the more you can say to those, maybe the agitated or potentially agitated parties that, hey, no, we are trying to work through this. Obviously, it's not 100% bulletproof remedy, but it is the closest thing Grant County can use to mitigate liability or protect itself from liability going forward. And you are also correct, Mr. President. This is just the starting process for the procurement. It's, what will happen is you'll authorize, again, Justin, myself, and Dale, and yourself too, to start drafting that RFQ and to publish a notice for it. You'll choose a construction manager or a BOT developer at that point in time, and go through a scoping period with that review committee to try to figure out what is going to be best for Grant County. And that will include everything from, getting the right budget to the right project, to the right scope, to the right location. All that stuff will start slowly occurring after the notice has been published and you enter into a scoping period with the BOT developer.
Excellent, perfect. So one other question for you really quick. The jail review committee in discussion with yourself and Envoy, we decided to move forward with the jail design with RQAW. Is now the time to discuss that? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Mr. President, if the commissioners are agreeable and are comfortable, legally what you guys can do today, you can approve RQAW as the design for the jail. That is a professional service. There is no true procurement method that is required by law, no proposals, qualifications, none of that stuff that needs to be received. If you are comfortable, you can have a motion today to approve RQAW with that. They will help with myself and Envoy to help draft some of the initial documents. And then the second step, then Mr. President, would be to approve the resolution today. That yes, you are absolutely permitted to do so. And those would be two separate legal actions that would need official actions. But yes, sir.
Perfect. Give me 1 second here, Connor. I'm writing a couple notes down here.
Yes. Yeah, sorry. That's a lot of information. That's totally fine. No worries.
Yep. So we have Envoy, we have Dale Davis online as well, and then we also have a representative from Envoy with us in the audience here. So I didn't know if either of you gentlemen would like to chime in, or Connor kind of cover it. Okay. Mr. Davis, anything from you? Maybe he stepped away.
Sorry, it took a second to unmute there. No further comment from me either. I think Mr. Sullivan covered it quite well.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Bardsley, any concerns, questions that you have?
Like Mr. Sullivan was saying, there's a lot of information that just came by us here. So I saw two things that can be done. We can approve RQAW to create the design. Is that what?
Correct.
That is correct, sir.
And then the resolution, we would have to, so we can move forward with the discussions on the build, operate, transfer schedule.
And just, yeah, and just so everybody knows, we actually got qualifications from 3 different companies when we did the jail study, and this was before my time, so keep me honest here, Commissioner Bardsley. We got qualifications in from RQAW, DLZ, who ultimately was selected to do the jail study.
Certified jail study.
Yes, and there was another company, and forgive me, I cannot remember the name of that company, the third company. They
Elevatus, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. That company came in the highest. We reviewed their qualifications when we did the jail study. They came in at the highest. We selected DLZ without getting into the weeds on that. We've had a little bit of heartburn with them between the commissioners and the county council. So that's the reason why we decided to go with RQAW. We've done work with them in the past, very pleased with them. So that was the decision for that, so.
And Mr. President, if you don't mind, sir, I would say that's an excellent point. I apologize, should have brought that up too. Even though it's not statutorily required, you have received those qualifications and have reviewed them and have worked with them. So that is more than a basis for you to make this decision. I apologize. I should have mentioned that too, but I would agree with that.
Yep, nope, that's okay. I wanted to let everybody know that we didn't just reach out and select the first person that responded back. We did our homework. We do have qualifications for 3 companies, and we just felt RQAW was the best company to go with on this at this time. So, thank you.
So, Mr. President, if you guys are comfortable and agreeable, then I would recommend making that official selection of RQAW. Then after that, then adopt the jail BOT resolutions after that, sir.
Okay. So Commissioner Bardsley, I will entertain a motion when you're ready to accept RQAW as the company that we are going to use eventually for the jail design.
I would move that we do approve RQAW to be our developer for jail design in the future.
Motion by Commissioner Bardsley. I will second that. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
I'm going to chime in real quick here.
Yeah, go right
30
ahead.
minutes left.
How much?
30.
Oh, 30, okay. Thank you. Okay, moving on to the BOT resolution. What resolution? 6? 6-2024.
Mr. Chairman, are you ready for a motion?
I am.
I would move to approve Resolution 6, 2024, Board of Commissioners, Grant County authorizing the start of the build, operate, transfer procurement method and taking certain other related actions for Grant County Jail project. With that motion in mind, I would also seek the addendum, an attachment of the legal counsel that formulated this resolution. It's not tacked on, it needs to be tacked on.
Okay.
We can sign after the fact, but I would move that motion with that addition.
Were you able to hear that, Mr. Sullivan?
Yes, and I apologize, Commissioner Bardsley. I failed to attach that the Exhibit 2, saying that it was prepared and drafted and by myself. But for the record, I did prepare and draft that document. That is correct. Sorry, sir.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. We have a motion by Commissioner Bardsley. I will second that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That is so moved.
And Mr. President, if you don't mind, I know you guys are in a hurry, but I just want to say real quick, I want to say thank you to Justin Sadoff. Without him, we could not have got this all taken care of. There's a lot of moving parts, and he's been instrumental in making sure that the train is moving. So I just want to point that out and say thank you to Justin for that. We could not have done it without his work and guidance. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Connor.
Great. Thank you, Connor. Anything else before we let you go?
No, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. If you need me, please give me a call. But otherwise, I appreciate it. We'll get moving on this.
All righty. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
All right, we will move on to food vendor request, sprinkled by Stephanie Lahr. Good morning.
I'll be super quick to request the time. So last year, we set up on the square once a week, every single Friday, and we switched out trucks from Cheese All That and Walk It Out and Sprinkled. This year, I'm requesting that we set up just once a month on the third Friday of each month. And I have combined all the trucks into the staple favorites that I noticed sold well last year. Beginning in the month of April for the third Friday, going till through October, with the exception of September being James Dean Weekend and Ducktail Run. That is it.
You have more traffic there.
I always have more traffic there. That's a big weekend for us,
You said April through October?
Mhm.
Okay.
with the exception
With
of
the exception.
September.
Okay.
I think last year you got kind of tired of us. Traffic fell off towards the second half, and I understand that that was a weekly thing, even though we were changing out the truck. I took notice to what was selling well, what was not selling well, people that were coming to cheese all that were not coming to walk it out and vice versa. And so if I just put all the favorites from each truck onto one truck and combine them and just offer it once a month, I think it'll be much more enjoyable for everybody.
Perfect, okay. Yep.
Do you need electricity? Remind me.
I did need electricity if it is provided, but last year I couldn't reach the outlet with my extension cord. So I brought my generator last year, which was very noisy for everyone.
Okay,
It is a 220.
I'll figure it out.
Okay, perfect.
I have no objection. I'm consenting if you're consenting.
I consent as well, yeah.
All right, perfect.
You're good.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Vehicle purchase request, from what I understand, Mrs. Street is not with us today. You're going to take care of that, Justin?
Yes, very quickly. She asked me to present this. In front of you, there are 4 different bids, with the health department adding staff over last year, this year and next year. Additional vehicles are required. Out of all the bids there, bid number 1 from Mike Anderson in Gas City is the recommended bid. It's 3 vehicles totaling $75,580.85. One of the main things with this to point out is the bumper-to-bumper warranty that this one includes, as to where the others do not. And she does have the funds.
Okay.
I would just commend Tara for her work. She's been just a giant at trying to get these things prepared. The Health First Indiana project is helping to fund her getting these employees as well as the services they need to get to. And I think it's very reasonable and well-researched for us. So I would move to approve the purchase of vehicles from Mike Anderson Mike Anderson Chevrolet in Gas City.
Yeah. Well said. We have a motion by Commissioner Wright. I will second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is approved. Presentation of user agreement, Kathy Foy. Good morning.
Good morning. This is a new agreement that I'm going to be sending out to my Laredo users, my subscribers. It's online access where there's going to be a portal for they can view how many minutes they've used. They can view what their bill's going to be and pay their bill online. And it's already been approved by Kyle. That was your next question.
And no changes in any fees.
No, no. And I have a sheet if you guys want to sign off. I didn't add it to that. I said, what I sent you, excuse me.
I have no issues or questions.
No, sir. I would move to approve the online access Laredo content subscription agreement as presented.
Motion by Commissioner Bardsley. I will second his motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 Do you want to sign this back
Yeah.
page now?
Yeah, we'll take it here.
Just need one or all of us?
Two good.
Two will work.
I'll just write out, send it on the other one. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That's all I got.
Anything else? That's it?
I'm done.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Melissa Stephenson?
Good morning.
Good morning.
So So every year, Court Services comes to share the current grants that we have throughout both probation and community corrections. So that's kind of what I'm here to do. And then I want to talk to you a little bit about pretrial, our pretrial grant. Kind of looking at probation, the probation department has the Indiana Office Court Services grant for pretrial services for this year for $248,954. We are finishing up our no-cost extension to the BJA, so the Bureau of Justice Administration and Assistance. And we have a drug court grant that is going to expire September 30th of this year. That's currently paying for the final year of $156,719. We have an additional Indiana Office of Court Services Justice Partners grant that is $60,000 that runs through September of this year. The Indiana Office of Court Services also has a drug court grant that's $7,000, and that pays for participant needs and drug testing. We have a Veterans Treatment Court grant that pays for a stipend for group facilitation, benefits, supplies, incentives, and pro-social activities, and that's $5,924. We have a second Veterans Treatment Court grant from the Indiana Office of Court Services that pays for our drug testing and training and travel expenses, and that's $8,000. We have a DART drug court, so that's a local grant for $3,500 that pays for drug testing, recovery events, supplies, and sober living and incentives. We have another DART drug court alumni grant that's for $1,200, and that pays for graduation and supplies. The newest one that we have here is the Indiana Office Court Services Mental Health Court Grant. And this is kind of a second grant that works with a grant that we have a partnership with Radiant Health to implement and start a mental health court. Ours is $33,237. That pays for the remaining portion of the salary and benefits that the original grant didn't pay for. And then a smaller stipend for grant management, incentives, drug testing, supplies, participant needs, program evaluation, and staff training. There are a couple other grants that are managed through Superior Court that goes for the Family Recovery Court that we don't oversee. So there's kind of like a really quick snapshot of what's happening with probation grants. Then we have community corrections grants that we currently receive, and then Chris will be talking about next. It sounds like our application for 2025. But for 2024, we have Indiana Office Court Services Reentry Court Grant of $10,000 for incentive drug testing, participant needs, graduation supplies, and training. We have the local DART community grant for community corrections, which is $6,500, and that helps us with contractual services with Milestone or Radiant Health, Grace House, the Rescue Mission, St. Martin's, incentives and drug testing. And then we get into the Indiana Department of Corrections grants. We have a community corrections supervision. That's $1,006,536. What this grant does is it pays for 12 full-time staff members' salary, insurance, and benefits, and 2 part-time staff members' salaries. The second Department of Corrections grant that we receive is the Court Recidivism Reduction Program. That's $266,042, and this pays for 4 full-time staff members' salary, benefits, insurance. And then the third one we have is the Jail Treatment 1006 grant, and that is $38,500. And this is for contractual services with Radiant Health to provide MRT and seeking safety groups for individuals who are incarcerated in the Grant County Jail. So this gives us a total grants for court services in 2024 of $1,852,112. So that's kind of a really quick overview. I know you're kind of short on time, so I want to talk to you a little bit about our pretrial grant that is now open. So you might recall that the funding beginning in 2022, that year took kind of an unexpected route for us when the funding had to be reprioritized due to the demand relative to what funds they have available. So as a result, the existing staff salaries were preserved, but there was a cap on each individual salary of 30% that they would pay for the benefits. Historically, the commissioners have bridged that gap for us for the 70% of the remaining portion of their benefits. And it's like if a certain staff member made $50,000, the 30% would go off of that $50,000. The remaining portion is what gets out of their benefits gets shorted. And it ranges anywhere, I want to say anywhere between 35,000 to 50-some thousand in the past. It just depends on salaries and where we're at with that. So historically, that's something that the commissioners have, because it's benefits paid out of their appropriation.
Benefits
Yeah,
section,
yeah.
or benefits.
And so we always try to get that conversation started now, because when it comes to budget time, we want you to be aware of those things should you continue with that agreement moving forward. We won't know about grant awards likely till probably the end of the year. They usually come out in December. So, but this particular grant is open now. And so I think the first thing we'll need is if the commissioners support the application for the continuance of the pretrial services program, and if so, that they would continue that agreement to pay the remaining 70% of the benefits. We always put in for the full amount and make those cuts. We anticipate doing the same this year, because you never know if they will or won't cut items. So we continue to ask for the most amount of money and let them tell us where they're going to make those cuts. Those have remained the same since 22, 23, and 24's budget. So I would anticipate them looking the same.
Technically, you need that show of support before we go on.
Right.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah, we would need an agreement that, like support that you would, should there be funding in the same manner as the last 3 years, that there would be an agreement to pay the deficit out of.
And that's the pretrial agreement that we're going after.
Yes. Yes.
Would you be amiable to a motion right now?
Yes, sir.
Regarding the pretrial agreement application, I would move that the Grant County Board of Commissioners support the application for the pretrial agreement and supplement any shortfall that the state does not award.
Motion by Commissioner Bardsley. I will second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
Okay. I think that's pretty much it for me, and I think Chris has the community corrections portion of 2025.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Well, Melissa pretty much summarized everything in the grant for community corrections. The funding has not changed in the amount of money that we're requesting. This is the process and procedure that we go through is for approval of the grant and the application, and then when the application comes is for permission for Angie to sign off on the fiscal agreement for and contract for that grant. Melissa covered all these, but the community corrections grant is for $1,006,536, and you guys should have got, I think, copies of all this. And then the $266,042 for court recidivism reduction, and that covers our reentry court under the direction of the Honorable Judge Jeff Todd. And then finally is jail treatment, and it does provide treatment for 50 felons in the jail, 2 groups of males and 2 groups of females, MRT and Seeking Safety, which is a trauma substance abuse curriculum for women. One of the things Melissa didn't mention, probably for the lack of time, is the total amount of the grant is $1,311,078, but that's also supplemented by project income to meet budget within each one of those categories. And so if you look at the total amount of the grant, including project income support, which is client fees, is $1,828,080. So that's the total amount of the money that we use or that comes back in grants from Grant County. And I'll entertain any questions that you have.
Do we need any other kind of support for any of the other applications that we're going after right now, or
No, those are, no.
we've,
Yeah, once we approve this and you authorize Angie to sign the contract, because that's what it requires, is the auditor to sign, that's it. Angie, did you have a summary of this already? Did you get a copy of this?
I did.
I'll drop you a copy off as it comes through.
No questions from me. I feel like they did a great job of summarizing and explaining.
with all the numbers and everything that they do, that is short, concise, and simple. Very appreciative of that.
I believe there was one of you at one time when I would bring the 45-page grant application. Chris, can you summarize this? And that started the process of 1 page, 3 paragraphs explaining what we do, so.
Well done.
So we as commissioners still need to authorize the auditor to act on the county's
Yeah, you
behalf.
need to approve the application and then the approval of the auditor once the contract comes to sign to fulfill the contract. And then when we get the final budgets and everything, I always usually get those over, or Sarah from my office gets them over to Angie so she knows the categories.
Ready for a motion?
Yes, sir.
I would move to approve the grant application as has been presented and designate our auditor to sign on behalf of the county when the award comes in.
Motion by Commissioner Bardsley. I will second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, and then the last item I had was, these are appointments to the Community Corrections Advisory Board, the local advisory council. Some of these are by office position that they hold. Some of them have to fulfill a certain category. If you look at the letter that I provided for you, some of them are they will mention things like layperson. Those are requirements. Some of those are information. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about those appointments. These are requirements as part of our community corrections grant and also a part of our bylaws to get our grants approved. So I'll answer any questions that you have. I know you're fixed for time.
This isn't anything we have to approve, correct? Or do we?
Yes, it is. You
We
need
do
to-
approve these
yes,
names?
You need to approve the appointment of these individuals and that is for a 4-year term. I would say, just with one caveat to that, any of those that say, like for instance, their title is DCS director or whatever, there were some questions, I don't know, a year ago about like who makes up the advisory board, how that was. So I've just been bringing those regardless of whether they're going to be there on there regardless of the term of office. So you guys have a record for yourselves of saying, okay, who's on there. And I think usually when that happens after a year's completed, I send you a full list of everybody that's on there.
Okay.
So I would need a motion to approve and obviously second to approve those recommendations.
I'll entertain a motion when you're ready.
I would move to approve the appointments as presented.
Commissioner Bardsley made a motion to approve these appointments. I second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thanks so much. Appreciate all you guys do.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Inmate work crew agreement, is Sheriff Garcia here?
I think we're going to table that.
We're going to table that one? Okay.
He's not ready? Okay.
Mr. Sadoff, vehicle purchase request.
Yep, just very quickly here, there are bids in front of you. I'd like to replace a truck in area plan and a truck for the surveyor. Both are 2013s. One of them has over 200,000. It's failed twice in the past 2 weeks. We've had to get it repaired. Make the recommendation from Mike Anderson, 2024 1500 Dodge Ram. With the government discount, we can get that at $36,625. That would be my recommendation for both vehicles.
And those are new vehicles, correct?
Correct. They have yet to be built.
And we are paying that CCD?
Correct. That would require me to transfer $11,250 over to the vehicle line item. But if you look at the options in front of us, they gave us a quote for a used, and there's only $3,000 worth of difference. So you're getting a lot more bang for your buck if we just go ahead and fight the bullet and get a brand new one.
Yep,
Agreed.
I agree.
Ready for a motion?
I
sir?
am, yep.
I would move to approve the purchase for the two vehicles as presented at $36,625 each, and to make the appropriate transfer for CCD funds to pay for it.
We have a motion by Commissioner Bardsley. I will second that motion. All those in favor, say aye, please. Aye. Motion is carried. We have 3 minutes. I'm going to make this really quick. Solar eclipse discussion. So what we've decided to do in talking to some of our colleagues that's in the eclipse zone from other counties, as well as, and Justin, keep me honest here, the city of Marion is closing their offices for the day on,
I believe that to be correct.
that's what I was told.
Marion and Gas City.
Marion and Gas City. Some of the surrounding counties that's in the eclipse, they are closing their offices as well, just to avoid some disruptions and some different dynamics that might be involved in that day. So in talking to my colleagues, we've decided to do the same. We're going to close the county buildings on April 8th of this year, the day of the eclipse. So, Commissioner Bardsley, do you have any questions about that discussion? Anything else to add?
No, do you want that in the form of a motion?
I think we do, yeah.
All right. I would move to close Grant County offices on April 8th as a safety precaution during the solar eclipse.
Motion by Commissioner Bardsley. I will second that motion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Our next Board of Commissioners meeting will be Monday, April 1st, in this room at 10 a.m. And with that, we are in recess. 1 minute to spare.